The chairperson was struggling with her network. I think she's just about to get in now.
Good morning, Zoe.
Morning, Tatesiabe.
Good morning, all. Good morning, all. Dennis here. Good morning, Chairperson.
Morning, Mr. Joseph.
How are you, Dennis?
Hi, morning, everybody. Everybody.
I missed you, Dennis.
That's nice to hear. Me too. Me too. Never heard the voices for a while, so yeah, good to hear you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Have you rested a bit?
No, there's no by-elections. There's by-elections, so you were busy. But I'm sure you had a wonderful trip as well, oversight visit.
You're losing, Dennis.
Yeah, I'm sure you had a wonderful oversight visit, but we were very busy with by-elections.
But you lost by elections.
The one I worked in, we won, but the one in Knysna, Southern Cape, we lost.
Yeah. Okay, that's politics.
Some you win, some you lose.
Yeah.
You win, some you lose. The nature of politics.
That's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always make the point that whoever wins must serve all the people, irrespective of who they voted for.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning, honorable members.
Hey, the chairperson, chair lady. Good
Morning,
morning.
Chair.
Our staff members.
Morning, Chair.
Morning, Chair.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members.
Good morning to everybody.
You look ladies today, Chairperson.
You look like what?
You look ladies.
I used to look boyish, mannish.
You used to look goggish.
Okay. That's Mr. Zungu likes to tell me those things. Where is he? I want his comment today. Honorable Zungu, how do I like? Honorable members.
Chairperson.
Hello.
How are you, Chair?
I'm fine, and you?
Today you look like a 16 valve, eh? You look young.
Very naughty.
You look.
When I'm Tongo, we know what you are up to,
This son of mine is appreciating the mother, man. Don't be worried. Thank you, honorable members. Can I take this opportunity to thank every member who's here? It was not an easy month and weeks. I'm still persuading that those who feel that they want to register in order that they must get a vaccine, it's upon you whether you registered because your medical aid can pay for you, or you wait and see whether honorable chairperson is reacting on the vaccine. Maybe you'll give me Monday that, can you start chairperson and then tell us how do you feel about the injection? Honorable members, let's appreciate as leaders of South Africa that during Easter's we were all not sure whether this virus is going to be up. It's worse that you decided to leave your families during Easter Monday. There are those who are Christians, there are those who believe in the Easter and believe to Christianity and any other churches and beliefs, but you took a decision that we are going on Monday. I'm here today thinking that it was supposed to be maybe a day that we were going to be granted a debate, but we must be aware that very soon now we need that the presentation of all those who are given money by the department, they must come into account and we debate. So today we're here to reflect on our journey, the journey which was not an easy one. But thank you to the honorable members that it was the first time that we are taking oversight as a new parliament, and maybe on the way there were hiccups, but when we are working, we can't not have our hands dirty, and I'm taking that we have experienced some things that when we are taking oversight, you need to do what we've done. By those words, honorable members, I want that I do welcome you, and the administrators, can you put the agenda on the screen? Honorable members, this is a proposed agenda. Can look at it. If you feel like that you want to add, you want to subtract, you can do so before we adopt it. Any intake? Or you must adopt the report if you feel like.
Chairperson, Mama Bolo.
Honorable Mama Bulo.
No, I think it's fine because it was circulated before to us. So I think I look for the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you, Honorable Mama Bulo, proposing the adoption of the agenda. Any seconder?
Chairperson, Honorable Adams.
Yes, Honorable Adams.
I second the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Adams. Any apologies?
Good morning, Chair. Yes, we received an apology from Mamu Kaula. She's indicated that she doesn't have proper network, Chair. So she won't be joining the meeting. She's in the rural areas.
Thank you. Any other?
Thank you, Chair. Chair?
Yes, Honorable Madam.
Yeah, I'll be attending to the doctor today. I will just come in and go out in the meeting because I have to see a doctor.
Hoping that will be done by that. Please take care of yourself. Honorable members. Yes.
I also have to leave earlier because of another meeting. Thank you. But I hope at that time we will be finished.
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, this day it was put aside, given by Parliament, but I know all of us who have other meetings, but the sickness is prioritized, but other meetings, they must wait that we must do what they've asked us to do. This is an oversight that they want us to adopt it, but we do appreciate, as we're sitting here, we're all going to have meetings. You know, this virtual meetings made every structure to take its chance, but let's try to be here in order that you must adopt the agenda. Please, can anyone from our staff present our draft agenda? Is it Solomon or is it who's presenting to us? Do so.
Hi, Jabu. Can you maybe put the draft up?
Take us through. Yes, Solomon.
Okay, good morning, members. I will be taking you through the draft of the oversight report. I will, for the sake of time, I will skip through the introductions and everything, and then I will get straight to the main areas that members need to take cognizance of. So let me just move. Okay. Okay. Basically, if you can just scroll down to page 3. Okay. So on page 3, this is where the committee conducted its first oversight, which was at the PACOPS in the Free State. And I'm going to also skip through that introduction and go straight to the presentations. And the first presentation, if members can remember, was presented by the Council of PACOPS. And basically, these are the main highlights of the presentation. Remember, if members feel that there's something that we've missed in the report, they can always give their input at the end of the whole presentation. So a forensic investigation was commissioned by the previous council pertaining to the complaints lodged against the artistic director. Some creatives have staged a sit-in, demanding that the artistic director be dismissed from PACOPS, citing the findings of the morals investigation report. Creatives are also demanding to be involved in decision-making at PACOPS in relation to who performs at the institution. The second investigation was commissioned by the council after complaints of nepotism against the chief executive officer were reported. The CEO was suspended by the previous council. Disciplinary proceedings are still underway. The department referred the matter of the protesting artists to the council, which has moved swiftly to engage with the artists. This is at PACOPS. The council took a resolution, a decision that they will implement the recommendations of the morals report. The acting CEO will be asked to step down, which I think he has already, and the department has facilitated that the CEO from another public entity, from the National Museum in Bloemfontein, to be seconded to act as CEO while the council deals with outstanding matters. And then there was a presentation by the unions, Nehau and Salipsu. Okay, on the previous presentation, we included what the artists also covered there. So now on the union side, the unions indicated that PACOPS has technically collapsed on the basis that it is failing to execute its core business as an entity. They further indicated that management, different boards from previous and the current newly appointed board, of which some members were implicated in the morals report, as well as some members from the previous portfolio committee who allegedly provided security for their personal friends, have all contributed to the collapse of the institution and are said to have advanced personal interest. The ministry is also implicated due to the lack of prompt response to the issues raised at PACOPS. Some officials who were easily influenced by some figures of management to do ill deeds against other colleagues have also contributed to the collapse of PACOPS. They proposed that immediate disciplinary action be taken against those implicated in the morals and Bakundi reports, which included the acting CEO, the CFO, the supply chain manager, and the acting HR manager. They further proposed that the institution be placed under administration for 2 to 3 years in order to renew it and rescue it from a total collapse. It was also suggested that a system of overhaul with skills audit be conducted. Additionally, it was recommended that outsourced duties at the institution be insourced. And then the observations by members. With regards to leadership, the CEO was on suspension since November 2020. The acting CEO, who is also the artistic director, is currently implicated in the morals report, and yet has not been placed on precautionary suspension. The CFO, who is also implicated in the morals investigation report, is also reporting for duty. This is in addition to the HR manager, who is also reporting for duty, although being implicated. There were allegations of sexual harassment of junior staff, which members took note of. And there have been sexual harassment of junior staff members by the CFO. A staff member was even checked into a psychiatric hospital. The matter has been reported to the council, law enforcement officers, and senior management, but there has been no action, there has been no progress to date. The junior staff have made allegations of abuse of authority by the HR manager. These allegations have been reported to senior management, council, and law enforcement officers, also without any progress. And then there was also the issue of qualifications of management. The unions allege that the majority of people in management positions do not possess the necessary qualifications and skills they occupy, for the positions they occupy. Multiple council memberships. It was alleged that there is a perpetual recycling of council members who have a history of poor performance on other boards. Implementation and recommendations of the forensic report. There is no consistent implementation of recommendations of the forensic reports. There has been a selection, there seems to be a selection on who to act on. There are also delays in the implementation of the recommendations, and proper processes are not followed when acting on the recommendations of the forensic report. Number 6, which is funding of forensic investigations. The committee observed the commissioning of the forensic report came with significant costs. Number 7, legal fees. The committee was informed that management continues to fight and frustrate staff through legal channels by using budget meant for core business. There have been numerous court cases that PACOFs which have been paid for by the taxpayer to frustrate staff and the unions. There continues to be favoritism towards certain service providers in the management of legal battles against staff. The outsourcing of the commissioner who works for the CCMA to settle staff disputes was also a problem. And then the recommendations are as follows. Okay, firstly, the implementation of the recommendations of the morals and Bakundi reports must be expedited. The filling of all vacant managerial posts to reduce the acting capacity must be done with immediate effect. The council must provide a report to the committee on its handling of sexual harassment allegations against management. The council is to review qualifications of management at PACOFs and take necessary actions against those who are not suitably qualified for the post they occupy. The committee requests that the council review its expenditure on internal legal battles between junior staff and management. The department is to review the policy on the council members serving on multiple councils within the same sector. The department should also review concerns that the council members are recycled, especially those that have been performing poorly in other councils. And then we did the oversight visit to the National Arts Council, where we met with them at the Sandton Convention Center on the 7th of April, 2021. And the presentation by the council and management was as follows. These are the highlights. A total transfer of the Presidential Employment Stimulus Program, or PSP, to the NEC was 300 million. Of this, 5%, which was 15 million, was set aside for administrative management fee. Funding was disbursed in 2 streams. Stream 1 was to offer support for employment retention in the cultural and creatives, institutions, and organizations, and it was 85 million. Stream 2 was designed to create work opportunity in the cultural and creative industries, which was allocated 200 million. On the 1st of January 2021, the NAC Council was appointed and commenced its 4-year tenure, and the induction took place on the 12th of January 2021. On the 24th of January, the NAC management presented the PES program to the new council members. On the 30th of January 2021, the council was alerted to a letter that had been sent by one of the NAC panel members to the minister alleging mismanagement of the PESP process at the NAC. Okay, next page. Okay, this panel's letter listed over 30 transgressions that needed to be investigated related to the PESP process, which then led to the new council requesting more detail to the PESP from the CEO, CFO, and the senior project manager. As the council requested further information, it was apparent that the CEO, CFO, and senior program manager were not forthcoming with crucial information, and that would have assisted the council in moving the PESP program at the speed that it was required. The council probed further and discovered the following. Funds allocated to the PESP were grossly overcommitted. The PESP funding allocation was 300 million, and the NAC had approved applications to the value of over 600 million, leaving a shortfall of over 300 million. Of the 1374 applications that were approved, only 613 was selected for funding, to the exclusion of the second group of an additional 761 approved applications. In addition, it was discovered that some applicants from the first group of 613 had been approved and contracted for more funding than they had requested. The council has been seeking legal opinion on the matter as to whether the funding of the 613 group, as to whether funding of the first group of 613 and excluding the second group of 761 would have legal consequences. The legal opinion was requested, stated that the successful applicants had the right to be treated in a way that is lawful, reasonable, and procedurally fair. The council also further sought extension from the shareholder, the department, to extend the deadline of project completion to 30th of May 2021 to give applicants more time to readjust their project timelines because of the delay, and this was granted by the department. The council then restructured the 300 million guiding figures that had been introduced, ranging from 16,600 up to 25,000 per job, were then revised to 10,895 per job. This then allowed the beneficiaries to approve to receive funding based on the following principles as approved by council. There was a ceiling of 2 million that would be applied to all applications and would be aimed at projects of national significance and implemented on a large scale. No organization would be funded for more than one project within the same stream. The council indicated that the risks of legal challenges from unhappy beneficiaries were inevitable, as they had already received letters of demand from legal representatives of some of the beneficiaries. Okay, the South African Arts and Culture Forum wrote an urgent interdict against the NAC. The matter was enrolled at the Johannesburg High Court. They were seeking an interdict prohibiting the NAC from withholding payments until such a time as payments are made out by the NAC. The matter was heard, but struck off the roll with costs, including cost of counsel. Then the members visited the protesting artists, which presented the following. During the presentation to the portfolio committee, the protesting artists indicated that they wanted the NAC and council and management to answer the following 8 questions. The questions are listed as follows. They wanted the list of all those who have been paid through the PESP and how much. Stream 1 was completed. Who was paid, how much, it was undersubscribed, and so many payments were not made. And then on Stream 2, they requested a full list of those contracted, a full list of those who were announced, like through letters, and a full list of those who are not yet announced. And then 4, a list of all the 1,300 PESP recipients. And then number 5, when are the payments being finalized for all those who signed their contracts? Number 6, when are the payments and contracts being finalized for those who are still awaiting contracts? Number 7, when are the payments, contracts, and letters of those being finalized who are still under review? And then number 8, when will all those who have been rejected be notified? The artist noted the following concerns to members as well. There has been a slow pace of payments for those who have been approved and signed contracts and have signed contracts. The NEC has breached their own contracts and has signed, that was signed with artists and companies by forcing people to sign off on budgets that were cut by over 70%. There are intervention measures by the new NEC council members who also had interest in the PESP as beneficiaries, which is clear conflict of interest. Minister Mthethwa and the DAC have been silent on the matter. Funding allocated to sport, arts and culture was being used to fund companies that were not involved in the sector. An allocation of 10,980 has been tabled. And this amount would be spread over 3 months. The artists requested the following demands to be met before they can evacuate the NEC premises. They object to the forensic investigation headed by the department. They indicated that the department wants to find a scapegoat. The artists insisted that an independent audit by the Auditor General, as the PFMA makes provision for that, they requested it. The committee must appoint an independent mediator between themselves, the NEC and the DSAC. The NEC council members who have benefited from the grants must be recused from the council until the investigation is concluded so that they do not interfere or influence the process. The trust relationship between the NEC and the arts sector has been irreversibly broken. The council must be dissolved and the new council must be appointed in terms of the Cultural Institutions Act. The NEC interdict to evict artists must be stalled until the committee appoints an independent mediator. The NEC to resolve all disputes through the mediator and not through the courts. Access to be granted to the 3 documents that the DSAC Acting Director General promised to provide on the 14th of March, 2021. An MOU between the DSAC and NEC regarding the administration of the PESP, the previous council's resolution regarding the PESP, and the previous council's handover document. Then these were the observations. Number 1, disbursements of the PESP funds to council members. The committee observed that 5 council members were associated with companies and organizations that received PESP disbursements, resulting in possible conflict of interest. 2, allocation of PESP to artists. The entity had overcommitted in terms of the PESP funds for the disbursements. There has been incidences where applicants received more funds than they had applied. The entity took responsibility for the error of overpaying applicants and will not recover the funds lost. The members were also concerned about the slow progress of the distribution of the PESP funds, which led to the deadline of payments being shifted from 31 March to 31st of May 2021. The contracts. It was observed that the NEC did not honor the contract signed with some of the artists and companies that benefited from the PESP. Non-honoring of contracts has already led to litigations of some of the companies for breach of contract, and whereby the outcomes were in favor of the applicants. The members, the multiple council memberships. There's a growing concern over board members and council members serving on numerous boards within the same sector. It is alleged that the NAC and other cultural creatives in entities recycle board members and council members, including that have historically been implicated in wrongdoing. This was also indicated at PACOPS. Poor response rate. Members noted that the communication between the NAC and external parties is poor. The artists who indicated that there has always been delays in receiving feedback on inquiries raised to the NAC. The NAC is also accused of withholding and gatekeeping of information for public scrutiny. The allocation of funds for non-arts projects and deregistered companies. There are allegations of the distribution of the PESP for funds to non-compliant, deregistered companies, as well as companies not related to the arts sector. And then also the concern, the sit-in protest. The members of the committee met with the artists at the sit-in at the New Town and noted their concerns on the handling of the PESP funds. Number 8, implementation of the white paper. The white paper on arts, culture, and heritage forms part of the process of legislating the creatives industry, yet the legislative process has rather been slow. And the recommendations are as follows. Legal advice is needed on the matter of conflict of interest pertaining to the 5 council members who are associated with companies or organizations that have received PSP funding. There needs to be a speedy transfer of funds to all approved beneficiaries of the PESP funds. The entity should honor its contractual obligations with affected artists to avoid further legal challenges and reputational damage. The issue of members serving on multiple councils was again raised at NAC. Therefore, the department needs to review their policy on council members serving on multiple councils. The issue of recycling of council members was again raised at the NAC, and the department must review that as well. Okay, the NAC is to implement an external communication mechanism in order to improve communication and feedback between the entity and other parties, as well as respond speedily to external queries. This plan must be presented to the portfolio committee and other stakeholders. The forensic investigation instituted by the department must include the alleged non-arts, non-compliant, and deregistered companies that have benefited from the PESP funds meant for the creatives industry. The negotiations on meeting the demands of the sit-in protesting artists should get underway between stakeholders involved. The portfolio committee to keep a watchful eye on the developments. There needs to be a speedy process towards the implementation of the white paper on the arts and culture by the executive. The portfolio committee needs to seek legal advice on the issue of contracting at the NAC, as well as to whether the entity does have the right to amend the contractual obligations signed to the affected artists. And then the next day we met with the National Film and Video Foundation, and at 5.2, there was a presentation by the council and management, and these are the highlights. The NFVF was given the responsibility of administering the PESP for the audio-visual sector with a budget of 140 million transferred to the entity. Of the allocated budget, 5% was also reserved for costs of administering the project, 100 million for the streams 1 to 3, objective 1 of employment creation, while 40 million was reserved for stream 4, objective 2 of job retention and business recovery. After an extensive terms of reference design process, the NFVF obtain approval from the department for the PESP to be administered in accordance with the following streams. Stream 1, production. Stream 2, training and skills development. Stream 3, industrial support, and then stream 4, business recovery. The department signed an MOA with all the implementing agencies and agreed on the conceptual framework and process maps that would be utilized in the implementation of the PESP. Then NFVF also embarked on roadshows between the 4th and 8th of December 2020, when it was clear that applications were slow to get off the mark, and also in the following provinces: Eastern Cape, Free State, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Northern Cape, and the Northwest. All 3 adjudication job creation approved streams created a total of 8,302 jobs against the target of 5,000 jobs. Stream 4 managed to retain 675 jobs against a target of 30,000 jobs, and this was due to the number of applications received for this particular stream. In total, the NFVF was tasked to create and retain 8,000 jobs, and this was an overachievement of 977 jobs. This was against a total budget of 133 million for all streams. What remains an administrative funds, what remains of the administrative funds will be utilized for the coming months for monitoring and evaluation. All successful applicants were announced by the NFVF website per stream. Feedback letters were sent to the unsuccessful applicants as well. NFVF team and consultants are currently processing payments with projected time frame of the end of June. April to June will serve as the monitoring period. A letter requesting approval to retain funds that have not been completely dispersed by the 31st of May 2021 has been sent to the department. This approval will enable NFVF to retain approved and allocated funds to disperse until the 30th of June 2021. All unsuccessful applicants have been afforded the opportunity to receive extensive notes from the panels upon request. In the event that they remain dissatisfied with this decision, they have a right to report directly to the minister, as outlined in the Section 12 of the NFVF Act. The department did not make allowance for appeals process, and as things currently stand, there is no budget for the 140 million for an appeals process. The observations: number 1, the PESP distribution. The members of the committee were satisfied with the way the NFVF has handled the distribution of the PESP funds, and also believe that other entities could learn the methods used by the NFVF. There has been a few concerns as to whether council members had declared that they had also received funding assistance from the PESP, and whether there was no conflict of interest. The NFVF has also indicated to the committee that one of the challenges that the entity has faced was funding constraints, as there were too many applications, yet too little funds. Recommendations. The members recommended that the NFVF maintain the good work of good governance, especially with regards to the handling of the projects, such as the PESP. The members of the council who may have benefited from the PESP should declare that there was no conflict of interest. Overall, there was an overall members' concerns as well as recommendations. The managers at the NEC presented themselves on an acting capacity, which was a hindrance in the leadership. There's a broken trust between the council and the creatives industry. The concerns of the aggrieved artists who have not benefited from the funds were noted. The department has failed to manage matters relating to conflict of interest. The NFVF is dealing differently with matters of conflict of interest than the NAC. It was felt that the department should have intervened early on the matter. There was poor handling of the disbursements of the PESP payments. as it pertains to the NAC. There was also concern relating to the matters of transparency in terms of the distribution of the relief funds. The issue of contracts is at the heart of the conflict. The beneficiaries are not being paid equally. The entities were not equipped with the capacity to distribute a large amount of funds within such a short period of time. The department showed poor oversight and control over the previous board of the NAC in relation to the PESP funding. There is excessive expenditure on court cases and forensic investigations which are not budgeted for. The committee noted that with appreciation the good work by the NFVF with regards to the distribution of funds and hope that other entities can benchmark from them. The matter of council members serving on multiple councils in the same sector needs to be addressed and policy should be amended. The disbursement of payments needed to be expedited as soon as possible. More transparent communication must be implemented by the agency. Unilateral amending of contract without the other party's consent is unlawful. The committee applauded the artists for conducting their protests peacefully. Okay, and then in addition, the members on the last day conducted a site visit to OD Stadium and HMPG Stadium, which was just a walkabout visit. And then there was observations that were made at the stadiums. Okay, at the OD stadiums, the members showed concern that the historical stadium has turned into a white elephant. Lack of maintenance and vandalism have left the stadium in a bad state, with the grandstands also falling apart. In 2005, it was shut down for non-compliance with safety and construction regulations. Seating requirements were also deemed not up for basic standards. The residents of Mabopane have expressed their concerns about the dilapidated stadium and that has also become a haven for criminals and drug users. The management of the city of Tshwane indicated that the stadium had been handed over by the Northwest Province during demarcation, and there has been no budget to maintain the stadium. The city indicated that after numerous consultations with the community, it has resolved that the stadium will be demolished and replaced with a multi-purpose sports center. The MMC for Sport and Recreation was concerned that she received a late notification that the committee would be conducting oversight at the facilities, which hindered proper consultation on the process of future plans of the municipality and the provincial Department of Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. The recommendations. The committee requested a report from the DSEC and the municipality indicating the future plans of the OD Stadium. And then the HMPG Stadium in Mamelodi, Pretoria, the observations were as follows. The stadium was renovated in 2005 in preparation for the 2010 World Cup and would serve as a training facility during the tournament. There was also disputes with the contractors and cancellations because of the flawed design of the roof. The stadium remains closed and unused until today, even though it was supposed to be part of the 2010 World Cup Legacy project. It remains non-compliant because of safety and construction regulations not being met, and the occupational certificate has not been issued. The angle of the seating is said to be dangerous, and the pitch visibility is poor in some areas. The local residents have shown concern about the stadium, about the stadium's negative impact on the community. The Gauteng Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, working together with the Department of Infrastructure Development, had previously committed to the first phase of rebuilding the stadium, which was the demolition. The recommendations are as follows. The committee is to request a virtual meeting with the National Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gauteng DSEC, the City of Tshwane management led by the MMC for Sport and Recreation, as well as the community leaders with regards to the plans of reviving the HMPG Stadium. The municipality to submit a full report on the history of the stadium and their future plans of rebuilding the stadium to the portfolio committee. The report is to be considered. If I can just note, members, that there are a few grammatical errors which I've picked up while going through the presentation, and I do assure members that they will be fixed as soon as possible, and we will ensure that there is language editing of the final report as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mtombeni. Honorable members, as you are aware that we were thinking that by this time will be already last week tabled to our good self this report. It was not easy because the office have been wanting some other information that we wanted whilst we were there, and we couldn't finish it. It was a hectic week trying to balance the work of organization and the work of the committee. Let me take this opportunity to thank the staff of this department or of this committee. We didn't have Monday on Sunday, because whenever I'll ask, do you have this other report? No, we're still waiting. So our apology to committee members that we didn't manage time as we expected. But I'm presenting this report to the members. This is your report. We can engage on it. Thank you. Any intake? I've seen Honorable Mhlongo, Honorable Van Dijk, in that order, honorable members.
Chairperson, we welcome the report, and Mr. Mtombeni, thank you very much. You've done our work easy. Siyabonga kakhulu. I'm impressed. You've allowed yourself to take all our comments, but I'm concerned with the chair, with the MOU. What is happening? They gave us an old MOU which was amended. Can I find out how are we going to get the original MOU? Because the one that we've received, it says May instead of the 31st of March. That was their deadline, the NAC. Now, another issue that I'm concerned with is the list of regrets letters. They're still not out. I wanted to find out because it must be highlighted somewhere there, because we did not receive that as per our request to the committee. But nonetheless, I'm happy for the report, and thank you very much, Babu Mtombeni.
Thank you, Honorable Mhlongo. Honorable Van Dijk.
Thank you, Chairperson. I also want to thank the admin staff for a proper report. There's just one thing that I wanted to ask. Under 3.2, I was just wondering if we can put in the names of the individuals that we speak about, because like over the last 5 years, we've got 9 CEOs. So when we in a year or two go back to the report, it will make it very clear if you have the actual names in that specifically in the report. The other thing that I was also wondering about is whether it's possible that we can put time frames to our recommendations, so that when we make the recommendations, that people know that within a certain time frame those recommendations should be addressed. Otherwise, it may stand over, and I think it will also assist us in that matter. But for the rest, I think it's a very good report that we've received.
Honorable Siabe, thank you, Honorable Van Dijk. Hey, I'm very disturbed about the bereavement that I'm receiving. I'm sorry. Honorable Siabe.
Thanks very much, Chairperson. And let me also welcome the report. I want to join colleagues in appreciating the amount of work, time, and energy put into writing the report. I thought we need to adopt the report if all of us are satisfied that this is a true reflection. And therefore, I move for the adoption of the report so that other things, if we want to discuss, because today's agenda is to adopt the report. But I want to respond to the proposal by Honorable Van Dijk that I think 3.2, although it is no longer on the screen, was capturing what was reported to us. Yeah, it was a presentation, what was reported to us. And in that presentation, there were no names mentioned when this was reported to us. So if we include names, when those names were not mentioned as they were presenting, to me, I don't think it will be in order. But I also want to thank the administration for the report, and I move for the adoption of the report. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable. Hey, there's a hand here with a Lexo guitarist. What is that?
Sorry, Chairperson, I borrowed a laptop. Mine is just, a month, so I'm using a laptop. But then next week it is coming back. I'm sorry. I am this Lego guitarist. Jim Mashingus.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you. Can I carry on, Chairperson?
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, let me also be very happy about the work that have been put on this report. Nevertheless, the recommendations are not as very clear as having to explain when the dates, like the main to fix the whole thing. It's like it is not very clear as to when things will be done and by the committee, even though yes, the whole report was supposed to have been given last week Wednesday, as the chairperson had alluded with the entities. Nevertheless, I think the urgency of it all is not reflective of how these entities have been fighting, especially the Parkhouse people and the artists as well. Because even yesterday it was day 50. They are still within the National Art Council's offices, but they're not being helped, and even the systems that are being put in place, they're taking more than 4 hours. Actually, they're not easy to work for the people to be able to apply. And if it can do that to people who are in the metros, how difficult would it be for people who are in the rural areas? So the whole thing, I think the recommendation should be very very clear as to what is going on from the committee, to show that the committee is with the people who are on the receiving end. That is my take about the report, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Madlingozi. Honorable Adams.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, let me also join the colleagues by welcoming the report and the hard work of the department. By saying that, Chairperson, I second the proposal from Honorable Siabi. I thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yes, comrade.
On a lighter note, Ma'am Adams, this is not a department's work, it's Babun Tombeni's work. He's not from the department. The department did not assist us, they did not even come. I think we must even note that. Thank you.
It's the work of the Secretariat, Adolfo.
Thank you, honorable members. Let me also take this opportunity, and I wanted to apologize to members, especially the emphasis by Honorable Mahlingozi. I was thinking that the honorable members, they're still seeing that there are few information gaps that is not within this report, and they are asking that we must get. It was not easy. Our staff were up and down, and when I'll ask, did you get this? They're saying no. I said, no, go back and tell them that I want ABC. It was the oversight to us all of this week, wanting a true reflection of what we've got there. But also to Honorable Mahlingozi, the time frames of what is committee is going to do. This is the process. Went there to get what we've got. And now immediately that we're adopting the report and presenting the report in Parliament. By then we'll be starting to commit to call each of these people whom we want to tell and to ask them that, have you done this ABC? But this is the starting process. We started in a good note. Let me thank also honorable members. But honorable members, as we're coming from, I'm just sharing, as we're coming from the oversight, you are aware that we've closed the meeting with the NAC, and then I did get an email, honorable members. This email was indicated that after we finished the meeting as a committee, 2 of our members asked a meeting with the NAC, with acting convene meet 2 members of the portfolio committee, and then they were saying, purporting that to presenting the committee, and then they were saying in that meeting, their meeting of 2 of those members were recorded and publicized, that recording. And then I'm suspecting that thing put it in a recording of their meeting. And now, to my concern is that now they wrote to me saying that after Chairperson, you've closed the meeting, 2 members asked us to have the meeting aside. And after that acting chairperson has done that with those members. Now, their meeting was recorded and was given to the people who were supposed not to maybe knowing what they are discussing. So my response was that we finished the meeting, and if you have any problem of what has happened, you must deal with those members or with the speaker, because as a chairperson, I finished the meeting of the committee. I don't know what now must I respond, as this matter is not the matter of the committee, it's a matter of individual committees. So something like that happened, honorable members. I'm sharing this, and maybe I don't think maybe it was right to that they're saying that let me advise, because now they are in trouble about the secret meeting that they were sitting with. So I'm reporting this, honorable members. I don't want not to report.
Honorable Chair.
Yes, somebody's
Honorable
calling.
Chair.
Yes, yes. I don't see who's that, because there's
Mama Volo.
Oh, okay. Honorable Mama Mulo.
Yeah, Chair, is fine. I get your remarks, and they are highly acknowledged. But can we be finished with the names of those two particular members so that we are able to know? And because, I mean, we can't be operating like this. As a committee, we should work as a collective. And if there are people who are deviating from the collective, I think that would be unfortunate. Can we be finished with the names of those two members so that we know what to do? If they are to be reported to relevant structures, we know that who are those people and so on. So can we please be finished with those two names, Honorable Chairperson? Thank you very much.
Okay, honorable members. I was thinking really those members put us into disrepute, because they if they were having some things that they were not happy or wanted to go on, it was according to email is Honorable Mhlongo and Honorable Madlingos. But as a committee,
My hand, Chair, before Mama Bula, and you don't note me, Chair. I've raised my hands on the virtual and you don't note me.
Yes, I didn't, let me finish. The problem was that the old hands were not taken off. So I was wondering who's speaking, who's not speaking, because the old hands was up. So I'm saying that's the email that came to me. And I want to report to you, honorable members, that no, it was not a meeting of committee members. It was the meeting of individual committee members. So I don't think that they can complain to me, because they were saying now their lives are being threatened. Yes, Honorable Mhlongo.
No, I think, Chairperson, the acting chair must give you full details. And I would like to tell you that we went there as individuals. I think you've cleared that. You had a meeting with Sbongile and yourself and Honorable Knox, not on our behalf. You have your own meeting and you have a right to do that. Now we had a meeting with her, and that meeting was supposed not even to be virtual. That meeting was an engagement after the meeting outside. Now he proposed that we must have a formal meeting. Now I don't think he gives you one side of the picture. What we agreed there, that was between us and her, and she said, no, I'm supporting it. Let me engage our board members. Now I'm saying to you, ask her to give you full details. He must not, because I can respond to the allegation that he says his life is in danger. He lied to us. He said they're going to to withdraw the court order to myself and Madlingozi for us
Order,
to solve
Chair. Order,
matter.
Chair.
I'm saying
Order,
he
Chair.
must give you more details, and at the end of the day, when he gives you more details,
Order,
you'll
Chair.
be able to analyze, and we have the rights as members to meet the chairperson outside, not on behalf of the committee. We didn't do this on behalf of the committee. Today is the 50th.
Honorable
Chair.
Honorable Msongo, I'm suspecting you are an old member of parliament. When there is an order, you
Oh,
support.
Chair. I did not hear that. Sorry.
Okay.
I did not hear that there's an order. Apology.
Honorable Siabe.
Thanks, Chair. I think it will be out of order of us to discuss the report. I thought the chairperson was just briefing the meeting that there's this report. Other members don't even have the letter or the insight of the matter. So they will be handicapped in discussing the matter. I think if there's a need to discuss the matter, Chair, we are at your mercy. It can be put on the agenda, then we are able to discuss it fully, and the full information be given to all of us so that we are able to discuss it. But if we get into discussion now, when...
What is the order, Chairperson? Chairperson, what is the order? I don't get the order.
I'm saying
no, that's not order what I was saying.
I'm saying we are out of order to discuss something.
No, I don't take chair.
No. You are not the chair. You are not the chairperson. You are not the chairperson. You can't rule or not rule. You are not the chairperson.
Honorable Msongo, please let's wait, and I'll come back to you to finish, Honorable Siabe.
So I'm saying, Chair, the meeting is getting out of order to discuss something that is not on the agenda, but at the same time, we don't have information about the matter. I understood the chairperson just to be reporting, and if there's a need for us to discuss the matter, let us be given all the information as members so that we discuss fully, having the information. Otherwise, there are few people who have insight into the matter and others are not. So we're not going to be, the discussions will not be effective. That's my order, Chair.
Round up.
Yes.
Sustained. Honorable Msongo still on the floor.
Chairperson, I think you reported to us when you've got something to us and they ask who are the members, and that information is not fully declared in this meeting. I'm allowed to raise what I'm raising. And one thing that I want to tell you, that the letter, I think, all right, you must send that letter to us, because you've tabled it to this committee, and it was not on behalf of the committee. As you heard yourself and Siabe, you went to Spongile and them without us knowing on your behalf. We did not know. I did not even say that, because they came to me, which both of you went there, and I did not table that. Now, why do you table us, Mina Nomadlingozi, going to her and talking generally outside the meeting? We are allowed to talk to members outside the meeting, to members of any entity, out as you usually do yourself. Now, I'm saying, Guti, she's out of order, chairperson, where NAC, to tell you half of the baked cake, which was not even cooked by us, because she came with different suggestion. Later, she asked us to have a Zoom meeting, and she said we must involve them. But at the end of the day, she declared that no, they're going to continue. I'm saying, Guti, let's have that. If you want us, I wonder what was the detail for you to say you're tabling this for reporting. For what purposes? If it's for us to discuss it, we can discuss it. We didn't do it. We are sellouts. We're doing it as individual. We are free to contact any entity members to ask whatever that we want to ask them. Maybe the question is to you, chairperson, what is the reason for you to give us a half-baked cake? You want us not to comment on what you are saying? Because there are two sides of the matter. He gave you whatever that she gave you. We have our story to tell too.
Honorable Msongo. Honorable Msongo.
Chairperson?
No, I'll give you Honorable Msongo. Honorable Msongo. Can I remind the committee members that I did come to this committee before we went for an oversight, and I declare in this committee that the artist wrote an email to me wanting to see me, and I reported to this committee saying that, but you said to Ujabu, you have heard what you have said, saying that we are going to come and take an oversight. And then do you insist that I must meet with you? How many are you? And they said, no, we want you, Chairperson, 5 of us. I've said, okay, I'll invite Honorable Siabe to be with me, because I don't know what you are going to do. I was thinking that you will be giving us a chance to come as a fully fledged committee. But if we are insisting, okay, let's meet virtual, and we ask the virtual things procedural to Parliament. And I've said, secretaries, being a chairperson, I'm being invited, and let me take that opportunity. And when we get there, we didn't discuss anything, because I've said to them, you are ambushing me. I'm not with my committee. If now you are breaching the decision of 5 people and not coming with 1 person, and now when you're coming with the whole group, I'm not a committee, I'm the chairperson. It means that this decision which you said you had, we must come as a fully fledged committee. And they were saying they will be changing the way of sitting and whatever, but the Parliament didn't give us that. So I was, because Honorable Mhlongo, they wrote in this email that your meeting was leaked, and I didn't want not to report. That's why I didn't even come with a detailed email. I can forward the detailed email, because I was wondering. They were saying I was not part of that meeting, but you, honorable members, you were part. That's why I'm said 2 of our members, they did meet. So far, I don't see that I'm wrong, and I don't feel that then, whilst I was not with the fully fledged committee, I had to meet them, because they wrote a letter, an email to ask Chairperson. So, Honorable Mahlingozi.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, I would love to make very clear that a day before of our meeting with the way forward, we all went to the NAC, and then we were given T-shirts. All right. So on that day, it was myself and Mhlongo who were wearing the T-shirts. Obviously, the NAC people saw us wearing that, and then they approached us. I will repeat it. They came and said, listen, we have a problem here. We have artists who are is there a way that we can influence them into making up their minds into going? I said, and we were standing right next to the table. It was myself and Honorable Mhlongo and Dlamini. And then we said to her, listen, it is a good thing that they want to resolve this amicably, but for sure there is no time, because the committee was waiting for us outside. So she said she will go and talk with the other NAC people, and then they might have a Zoom meeting to invite also the artists. I said it's a good thing. So we ran out so that we are not left behind. Now, later on in the hotel, they didn't call, and then Honorable Mhlongo said, these people are not calling for their meeting. I said, listen, let's forget about them, because I don't think they were serious. And then they called, which means there was no meeting, Chairperson. All was there was an invitation to a meeting, because the first time that they invited us, they said they cannot have the other artists to be in the Zoom. So I said, what is the point of us, meeting here? Because the very same people that invited us with the artists is you on this Zoom. So there is no Zoom. And then they came back again. They said, yes, they have talked with their lawyers. They don't see it right to have the artists to be. I said to them, okay, if it is like that, so there's no meeting. Then we left. So there was no meeting at all. So these people, Chairperson, they are lying to you. They wrote a letter that lies, because they realized that they lied to us, that they were going to resist that court order, so that they don't embarrass the very same people that they are supposed to be protecting. So now they lied that they were going to do that, because they knew that they were going to go ahead with the court eviction and everything like that. So now they come to you and claim that there was a meeting. There was just no meeting there, Chairperson. They are lying. There was no meeting there, and I would love, Chairperson, to give us all the letter that they wrote to you, and we will point out all the lies that they have written to you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mhlongo. Honorable Mhlongo, thank you for your contribution, because I was just putting it in order that you must know that there's that thing, and thank you for the clarification. And I'm suspecting, even to myself, I didn't meet with them. I was supposed to meet with them, but all of a sudden they wanted to ambush, to come with the whole team, and they were having right to ask that I must come with. They've said 2 or 3. I've said, no, we are coming there. I'll take one. So that's why I'm sharing that this comparison, maybe they cannot be right, especially now when you're saying even your good self, they are lying, they didn't meet with you. Honorable members, it was just that information that I wanted to share, that I was given that email. Can members want me to talk about the time frames, saying that our staff must go and seek the few questions, information, the names which were not given, and some other things you were writing also, in order that we must try to present this report to Parliament and debate it in Parliament. I'm suspecting that those are timeframes that are outstanding, let alone that now, according to our parliamentary program, coming back 4th May, we'll be getting all this presentation, and we'll be debating on the 13th. We are aware as this committee that we have so much in our hands. We have an outstanding of cricket, SAFA, SASCOC, Robben Island. So I'm suspecting that we'll just finish this coming weeks, you've seen that we're meeting almost 3 days per week to finish these BRRRs in order that we must do our work. Anything, honorable members, that you want to say? Honorable members, can I close the meeting? Honorable members,
Yes,
I want to close the meeting, honorable members. Thank you so
No,
much.
Chair. No, point of order, Chair.
Yes.
You can't close the meeting without giving Honorable Congo a full cake. He's saying you only giving him what you call a half-baked cake. Can you please give me a full cake?
I didn't bake. I didn't bake the cake. Unfortunately, I didn't bake the cake.
Chair, you didn't bake the cake. The gentleman who was just speaking, he thought that we went on behalf of the committee. He was saying, no, it's wrong for them to do that. We have a democratic right to meet anyone outside the committee.
No, it's clarified, sir. It's clarified.
Please, you must withdraw what you've said.
The cake.
No, not you, Chair. So the gentleman who's just speaking, because he had an attitude to say, how can they go there? Who are those members? Angana information.
Who's the gentleman? Who's this gentleman?
This young man,
do we have people like this that in this committee?
I'm
out of order, Chair. The meeting adjourned.
Chair, I second the closure of the meeting. I second the closure of the meeting. Thank you very much.
The meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, honorable members. I've just honorable members getting a bereavement of one of our members, but the way that I'm shocked, I'm not sure whether it's mother and the daughter or is a daughter. I'm just shivering.
It's mother and son.
Oh, I don't know. It's mother and daughter. The daughter passed away last night.
Oh.
The daughter passed away last night. Today, it was the mother, comrade, Jackie Mofugeng.
Oh.
Yeah. She lost the daughter yesterday, and then she passed on this morning.
What happened to them?
The details are still sketchy, but we'll hear from what you call from Chief.
Thank you, honorable members.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and my sympathy with the family then.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.